It's like now a third world country. We have no protection, no security. They do not care about us. We're like slaves to the slaughter. So no, I think there'll be so many loopholes that he will get off this, and those words intentional and reckless, are just meaningless, absolutely meaningless. He lied. There's no getting away from that. Why is it that we don't like the truth? And Dawn Butler, when she called him a liar in the Commons, she was asked to leave. But why don't we like this? Why is this government or the Commons do not like the truth? We're living in a post-truth scenario, and it's frightening. And I want him deported to Rwanda. That's where I'd like to see him go.
Brenda in St Ives in Cambridge. I'm not sure Rwanda wants Boris Johnson. I have to say, it's very interesting. I'm actually slightly kind of... You're taking my breath away, actually, some of you. The kind of hurt I can hear in your voices about the way you feel that Johnson has degraded standards in public life. I haven't done a photo like this for quite some time, and just hearing so many of you calling up and the really strong, raw emotions that you have. Now, look, you know that I don't think perhaps... I personally don't feel that we should say things like, he's a criminal, he should be locked up, because it's not accurate. I also don't think that we are living in a developing world country. I don't think that's accurate. But what I do have a huge amount of sympathy with is when many of you have called up, like Brenda, and just that sound of hurt, a real sense of grief and loss. And it strikes me that many of you feel that we have lost something of what it is to be British, something that goes to the heart of who we are as a country. It's hard to really describe it. A sense of fair play, a sense of honesty, the things that we have told ourselves that Britain is, the things we like to believe about ourselves. Is it the case that this one man and the way he's behaved in Number 10 could really have destroyed all of that? 0345 6060973. I'm Sangeeta Maiska. This is LBC.
Join me, Andrew Castle, here on LBC. I know, personally, all I need to know already about Boris Johnson. He's done. He's finished. It's over. But the very suggestion there could be a return to power just riled me up. The whole thing stinks to high heaven. Get on with getting the cost of living under control. Getting on with educating children. Get on with running the country. That would be nice. Join me, Andrew Castle, tomorrow morning from 7. Listen on your radio and on Global Player, LBC. It's almost that time of the week again. So, who's going to win tonight's Lotto jackpot? It could be the dad who always picks his kids' birthdays. It could be the girlfriend picking the date of her anniversary. Fuck you guys. Or tonight, it could be you. Don't miss tonight's Lotto jackpot. Play on app. Lotto from the National Lottery. Account terms, rules and procedures apply. Players must be 18 or over.
For delicious, award-winning jerky and biltong, visit RagingBullSnacks.com and enjoy 15% off your first order.
Raging Bull Snacks, made without compromise.
At Honda, we listen to drivers for inspiration, even when they say things we can't play on the radio. Like when a pulls out without indicating, or when a crosses the road without checking first, or when a doesn't understand how a roundabout works. That's why we developed a collision sensor system, which detects risks and automatically brakes. And to keep all family road trips family-friendly, it's included as standard with the Honda CR-V Hybrid. Honda, the power of dreams.
As a small business owner, you do everything in your power to protect what you've worked so hard to build. But not having cyber protection is like going out and leaving the door wide open. Don't do that. Help protect your organisation in under 5 minutes with a cyber action plan from the National Cybersecurity Centre. It's free and provides tailored advice to help secure your business. Don't wait until it's too late. Stay cyber aware. Search Cyber Action Plan and stop online criminals in their tracks.
Who says you can't mix business and pleasure? Our American Express business cards let you earn points on your business transactions, from paper clips to online ad spend. Points that help you enjoy something pleasurable, like something like a nice relaxing massage on a spa weekend away. The card is for business, the points are for pleasure. Search Amex Business Card. Terms and annual fees apply. 18 plus, subject to status.
Hello there, it's the Hairy Bikers here, and we are here to help you, yes, new listeners, to get more from your food.
We are indeed more character, more delight, and more flavour.
Yeah, and we know a proper tasty way to do it, with Knorr, of course, the nation's favourite stock.
That's right. So whether it's a chicken or chickpea comfort and curry,
Or a hearty beef or bean chili for dinner tonight.
oh, and just be sure you give it more with more.
To verify, call 0800 731 1411.
As a Bolt driver, I work hard. I work long hours, getting people where they need to be, from A to B. So, at the end of the day, I expect a fair deal from my employer. I deserve better.
Bolt drivers, following the successful Uber claim, be part of the fight for the compensation and workers' rights you deserve. Join Lee Day's Bolt Drivers Claim today. Visit leeday.co.uk/boltclaim or text CLAIM to 82727.
Do you, Laura, take Adam to have and to hold, even when he forgets who you are? Do you promise to love and cherish him, even when he doesn't feel like you're Adam anymore? Will you look after him in sickness, in some of the darkest days of your life?
At Alzheimer's Society, we vow to help end the devastation caused by dementia. We vow to support everyone living with dementia. And we vow to find life-changing treatments. But we can't do it without you. Donate today. Search Alzheimer's Society. Together, we are help and hope for everyone living with dementia.
Sangeeta Maestra on LBC. Call 0345 6060 973.
Hello, I'm Sangeeta Maiska here with you until 4 o'clock. Want to remind you that coming up after 3 o'clock, we're going to be talking about the honours system. And the reason is that Liz Truss, who you will remember was only Prime Minister for 49 days, has decided to nominate 4 of her government to the House of Lords, and that would make them lawmakers. Given her government nearly trashed the economy, my question to you is, do you think that the honour system is broken? That after 3 o'clock. But first, back to this whole issue around Boris Johnson and whether or not there's a way back. And I can't see, certainly in the court of public opinion, how there is a way back for him. But then popped up this question of privilege. Are there a bunch of people in the country who are just so privileged that they can never be touched? They are untouchable. Sarah in Tunbridge Wells in Kent. Oh, Tunbridge in Kent. Is it Tunbridge Wells?
Oh, yeah, no, I'm not a posh. I'm Tunbridge. Not Tunbridge Wells.
Well, nice that you said the context.
But funnily enough, of all the areas in in Kent,
Yeah.
Tunbridge Wells was the only one that didn't vote Brexiteer.
Really?
I mean, isn't that weird?
Well, only if you equate Brexit, the anti-Brexit vote with people who are, well, I don't know, posh, not posh. I've managed to talk myself into a hole. Anyway, let's talk about privilege.
Yeah, you better not go there.
No.
Yes. Now, of course, the higher up the echelon you are, the fewer dues you have to pay, the more confidence you have. Because you've gone to private school, you're genuinely told you are better. I can assure you, having gone to private school, I grew up with privilege. Not that sort of privilege. I don't mean Eton privilege. So I knew people from Eton, and my mother loved me knowing people from Eton.
Why?
Because she was a snob, and she was upper middle. She liked to think she was upper middle class. So therefore, those people are quote better. I mean, she was horrified I married twice, both working class guys, you know. But I tell you, it does buy you confidence. And you wanted a couple of examples.
Yeah.
But first, I'd like to say, there's nothing more depressing than seeing, quote, the lower orders, as my mother would call them, doffing their caps. This is for me, anyway. To me upper echelons like Johnson. I find it absolutely mind-bogglingly a mystery that people do.
It is, I have to say, I stand in bafflement when I see it. So I'm a Londoner. I remember when he was elected mayor, I didn't vote for him. I've heard my colleague James O'Brien say that he did, because that was before James kind of had the veil lifted from his eyes. I didn't. I was an absolute, I've spent my whole life in this city. I couldn't believe it when people were saying they were going to vote for him, because even at that point, we knew that he had been sacked for lying from at least one job. We knew that he was writing about, the shape of bananas, and it was all a lie. And when I saw that, I just thought, what is wrong with my fellow Londoners who I love? How have they become a bunch of forelock tugging cap doffers? And I just didn't understand it.
Well, journalism can teach you some horrible things. I mean, I remember Prescott, Deputy Prime Minister, constantly mocked in the papers. He was only a ship's steward, as my husband would say, who became a journalist himself, much more precise. And he came up from an orphanage and being very, very poor. As he said, we should admire him more for having got there. But we don't. We still... And Angela Rayner, look what that ghastly man said, who's Dominic Raab said, going to Glyndebourne.
Oh, she's the victim of huge amounts of snobbery.
Well, there you see.
Huge amounts.
I tell you, if I was stopped, I'm 77 now, it's very unlikely I'd be stopped in the street by a policeman saying, what are you doing, mate?
No. Have you heard me talking about the Met? Did you read the last report? Don't Louise Casey, I mean, you never know. Anyway, sorry, I shouldn't jest.
I have to say, I've met a really nice policeman here because I put double yellow lines in my road further up the street. I mean, correctly, I did it absolutely professionally, and somebody, sneaked on me. A policeman came and I came out and said, do you want to arrest me? By the way, I did it for very good reasons, because the garbage guy could never get around the corner because the yellow line was too short. Now, if I had, and he was a charm, he looked about 16, 6'6", he was a sweet boy, and he said, actually, I think what you've done is quite right. But if I had done that, and perhaps I was a black person, working class, I would have had much more truck from him. I don't know, but that's what I think would have happened.
It's hard to know. If you are a young black man, pick up the phone quickly. 0345 6060 973. I would love to hear whether you think that is right. It's funny. Do you think? A quick question, Sarah, because I want to get to Margaret in Enfield. Do you think that the British public has been ever thus in terms of its forelock tugging, or do you think that this is a relatively new thing?
No, definitely always. Remember, people used to say, "I know my place."
Oh, God, did they?
Yes, people honestly did. And but not only that, you will. I used to find it because say I had a plumber in or a carpenter or something.
Yeah.
I mean, I did most things myself, but when it get to plumbing, I left it to the plumber. But I remember that, they'd talk to me and they'd say things like, when I asked, whoever to pay the bill,
Yeah.
the person might well say, "But you want more than I earn." And there'd be some desk person, in some city, something or other. This is a British attitude. Currently, it's not in Sweden. The busman is looked at no differently from the doctor or whatever.
So my sister-in-law, in fact, is Swedish, Sarah, and she says the same. She says it's a much more equal society. In fact, my brother-in-law and my sister-in-law have now moved to Sweden because she wants to raise her daughter there rather than here. And I should ask her one day. She says it's to do with the education, but I think it's more her sense of society. And she has and sort of in passing intimated that she does think we are an incredibly hierarchical society in a way that she doesn't like, actually. And fair enough. Sarah and Tonbridge and Kent, thank you very much indeed. Margaret, in Enfield in London, you are my last caller.
Hello, hi, thank you very much for taking my call.
You're welcome.
I wanted to go back to the point of what you were making of when you were feeling quite aghast about what people were saying and feeling. And I just wanted to really reflect that. That is what Boris Johnson and his government have driven so many good people to become so cynical, so deeply hurt, and so resentful for what they have had to go through and what they have seen as part of that privilege element. And I go back to watching Question Time the other night, and they asked the question of if anybody in that studio, might have been 100 people, believe what Boris Johnson said, and not one person put their hand up. And that for me was striking. And so they do not understand the real hurt and dismay and just absolute contempt people feel for this government and what Boris Johnson has done. And he shouldn't be able to come back, but he may well be because of that eliteness that they have, this privilege of entitlement. But if the good British people come back, they will show them at the next general election and say, enough is enough.
Last word to you, Margaret. Thank you very much indeed. From Enfield in London. Coming up after 3 o'clock, we are going to stick actually with this idea of privilege and what it gives you. And the reason is that Liz Truss, the woman whose premiership was outlasted by a lettuce, has nominated 4 people from her disastrous government to the House of Lords. If that isn't privilege, I don't know what is.
On your radio, on Global Player, and
Play LBC.
leading Britain's conversation. This is LBC.
From Global's newsroom at 3 o'clock, it's understood plans to begin moving migrants out of hotels into military bases or even disused ferries will be announced by the government in the coming weeks. The Home Office hasn't confirmed the reports. It says it's continuing to work with local authorities to identify a range of accommodation options. Migration policy analyst Zoe Gardner says ministers are misdirecting their attention.
We want a government that deals with the issues that are actually affecting our lives, like the cost of living crisis and the crisis in A&E departments up and down the country. And it seems like day after day, the government is just pursuing headlines to show how much they are going to debase our country by pursuing these horrible measures.
People are being told to avoid a range of semi-soft cheeses thought to be linked to a listeria outbreak in which one person has died. Some Baronet products have been recalled by the Wiltshire manufacturer, the Old Cheese Room. At least 23 people have died after powerful tornadoes destroyed buildings in the US state of Mississippi. 4 other people are missing, dozens have been injured. A year after the first arrivals under the Homes for Ukraine scheme, the country's highest-ranking diplomat in the UK has thanked those involved. British families have hosted more than 117,000 people fleeing Russia's invasion. Levelling Up Secretary Michael Gove says the public have shown their true generosity of spirit. Ukraine's ambassador in London, Vadim Kostyko, wants more offers of accommodation.
With your help, we will be able to endure through these dark times. We will preserve precious lives and will bring justice and peace to Ukraine. Since the very beginning, you were shoulder to shoulder with us. Please stay with us.
Workers at London City Hall will no longer be allowed to have TikTok installed on staff devices. The Greater London Authority says it's implementing a ban on the Chinese-owned app because it takes information security extremely seriously. The video sharing platform insists it doesn't share data with the Chinese government. And the Qatari banker Sheikh Jassim has put in a second offer for Manchester United. The chair of the Qatar Islamic Bank is said to be confident about being chosen as the new owner of the club. The weather, sunny spells and showers for much of the UK. The heaviest rain over southern Scotland and northern England. More persistent rain will arrive in the far southwest this evening, a high of 14 Celsius. From Global's newsroom, I'm John Stratford.
This is LBC from Global, leading Britain's